Another long night. And too much paperwork. Oh, what's this? Wait a second. Let me just get that up on the screen. Oh, finally. The newest unit report has arrived. We've been waiting on this. The stride gate technology finally got improved to the point where we could actually call on him. A new unit. It's been such a long time. Let's have a look at this one. Blue Storm Steel Dragon. Jumbold Dragon. A fitting name. It says here that he has the ability to cool units from the top 7 cards of the deck at rest. And also when he attacks, for the price of a Counterblast 1, he can flip a card in the G-Zone, and then for each of 2 of your rested rearguards, you draw 1 card, choose an opponent's rearguard, retire it. If you drew 3 or more, you can then stand 2 of your rearguards. Fascinating. Let me just get this up alongside some of the other files. As a first ride target, this is quite exceptional, allowing you to fill your field along with actually accessing large amounts of cards to the hand. Along with also retiring opponent's fields, it's basically Wailing Thavas improved but also added to Valios. Also, it doesn't seem to be under the effects of any generation break limits, so it's at full power as soon as you stride it. Well, considering that you have enough rearguards on your field at the time. Interestingly enough, you'd have to be able to use Axel circles to actually perform the full restand ability, as you have to have 6 rearguards, and currently without Axel circles you may only have 5 at a time. And then for every 2 Axel circles you get from that point onwards, you get to retire 1 more rearguard and get to draw 1 more card. Overall a very well-rounded stride and perfectly balanced for the early game. Well, perhaps not balanced, but definitely in our favour. And the resource generation from this unit is absolutely ridiculous. You get to not only call 2 units, so that's adding 2 cards to your field you didn't previously have, but then you also get to draw 3 cards potentially. This generates 5 cards for just the cost of 1 Counterblast, and even if you can't pay that Counterblast you can still call 2 units from the deck. This new stride also allows us to remove obstacles in our way, allowing us to retire our opponent's rearguards, so cards like Honley may no longer be a problem, as we can just retire them selectively. Let's get some other units up and see what we can utilise for this new stride effect. Starting with the ability to call from deck. These units are generally utility units after all, so they will generally have effects that can activate when placed from deck. Starting at the basics, we have Direct Strike Brave Shooter, our critical trigger. If you call this from deck at rest, you can then put it into Soul and gain 10k on Vanguard and draw a card as well on swing, so it allows you to amplify your turn's draw capacity. Next up we have Supersonic Sailor, in the case that you need to countercharge and gain Soul as well. You can be placed by the effects and then you can use its effect directly to put it into Soul as it's an act ability. Moving along, I thought I'd swiftly talk about the possibility of using Forerunners, as many Forerunner abilities actually would be usable under the effect of this, as they can be searched out from main deck, though you would probably not be running them as their Forerunner. Instead, search them out and use their effects. Alright, let's move on to the grade 1s. Starting with Swim Patrol Jellyfish Soldier, a unit that can be used to countercharge effectively, so even when placed from deck or hand, you can use it to countercharge, and since the deck may use counterblasts quite heavily, depending on your variant, it may be quite useful. Next, Storm Rider Nicholas, also an on-place ability, so when placed you can then use his skill to search the top 7 for another Marine General of Restless Tides Algos, another deck thinning ability, allowing you to try and hit those triggers more effectively, or add units to your hand and build the field, just in case you haven't quite reached the 6 rested rearguards needed. Following swiftly on, we have Battle Siren Narissa once again. While you do not get to restand her as she's placed at rest rather than being rested by the effect of a unit, she does allow you to draw a card at the end of turn by placing her into Soul, and that can potentially be used as well, especially if you're running Revenant for the grade 3 ride, allowing you to perform strong attacks during your grade 3 turn and then also utilising the card later on to gain more hand advantage. Next up, Blue Wave Yorkos. While I wouldn't recommend running the unit, he can also be used as a 10k guard from an intercept from back row, to be called by the effects of Jumbold for later use in the next turn. Moving on to more interesting units, we have Blue Wings of Faith Basilla, with the ability to counterblast 1, reveal top 3 cards of the deck, and add any number of Blue Wing units from among them to your hand, and that's when placed, and that counts from deck. Blue Wings in general have the ability to restand when you hit a heal trigger, so all of them can effectively benefit from Jumbold, as you can place multiple ones on the field at rest, and then if you hit a heal trigger, on the occasion that you do, you can restand your entire field at times. I believe that Blue Wings may be one of the strongest decks of Jumbold at the current moment, as the ability of Bacilla combined with the ability to restand units of their own accord and build a field quickly, which is one of the things that Blue Wings suffer from, is the inability to build fields at times. You can definitely make Blue Wings an effective deck using Jumbold. Moving on to grade 2 units now. You have units such as Coral Assault can be very effectively placed from deck, allowing you to get a draw if it's left at rest, as long as you've performed the right number of attacks during that turn. Or you can use the effect of Jumbold to restand it. While unconventional, Tearknight Halpalos can also be used, as it can retire itself when your Vanguard attacks, to allow your Vanguard to have 10k more power and draw a card, so your opponent is generally going to be left in a position where either they perfect guard or have to take the hit, allowing you to draw even more cards, though I feel like this card would not be used, as it feels rather unconventional. One of the main benefits Jumbold presents is the ability to restand units for a single counterblast during any wave of the turn. So this includes units such as Riptide Dragon and Coral Assault, allowing you to swing multiple times for very large numbers, because although Jumbold does allow you to build a field and restand units, it does not allow for the ability to amplify power, such as Alexandros. So Jumbold will generally definitely benefit from having units that generate their own ability and own power, such as Riptide Dragon and Coral Assault. So you can effectively turn it into quite a lethal turn with a restanding Riptide Dragon and a restanding Coral Assault, using something such as Tidal Assault as well to allow you to get the number of attacks where you can actually swing with Riptide Dragon twice. You can also use it for the utility of units like Saberflow Sailor, where you can restand Saberflow Sailor for the 4th wave, allowing you to effectively call from your deck whatever you need. So if you need the power, you can call units such as Coral Assault or Riptide Dragon, but if you need the draw, you can call Saberflow Sailors and then restand them with the Vanguard effect. So the general point is this unit is incredibly versatile and will generally be able to perform in most situations. As a first stride, very, very powerful, but of course it becomes power crept during later stages of the game, as there's more generation break units flipped up, such as Alexandros and Valios that are definitely more powerful in certain scenarios, though I can definitely see reasons to use Jumbold in a lot of these scenarios as well, especially if you have the power gainers. I'll also quickly add that of course the new order that is designed to allow for your circle to be unlocked or for cards on that circle to stand and then allowing you to draw a card may also work with this unit, though I'm still unsure whether it is Stargate only. I think it's generic, but I'm still not quite sure on that fact as the translation hasn't come through very well. Overall, very pleased with this Jumbold stride, as it fills in a lot of spaces that Aqua needed filling, and as general is just a very another powerful asset to our G-Zone, and I look forward to its future ventures. Approved and signed, Admiral Lambros. Phew, that should arrive on the Fleet Admiral's desk in time for his briefing tomorrow. Now let's look at some of the other reports. What on earth was that? Oh my god! Please, no, don't come any closer! No! Ah!